Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Stringer, and it's a pleasure to serve under your chairship today. I want to first thank my honourable member from Great Grimsby and Cleethorpes for securing this very important debate on an issue that affects almost everybody in this room. The Waste Crime Action Plan put forward by this government contains several promising measures to tackle the persistent issue of fly tipping in our communities. And I welcome the additional £45 million allocated to the Environment Agency for waste crime enforcement, which I believe will go a long way to strengthening investigations and addressing the problem at its source. However, I do believe that the measures proposed could go further, because residents like mine in Broxtowe have reported that not only is rubbish being left in the alleyway behind their property, it's also been thrown over their fence and left in their garden. And after reporting the incident, they discovered that as a landlord owner, they were responsible for clearing the waste themselves, as well as the associated costs. And I'm sure we will all agree that just cannot be right. Victims of fly tipping should not be left to bear the cost of the crime committed against them, yet this widespread injustice continues across the country. Chair, the legal framework already allows for significant penalties, including unlimited fines, vehicle seizures, and even custodial sentences. However, these powers are too rarely enforced. In fact, despite over 1.26 million recorded incidents, enforcement action remains astoundingly low. And according to DEFRA, less than 0.2% of perpetrators have enforcement action taken against them. My residents in Stapleford, who live in an area that has a communal garden space, have repeatedly raised concerns about waste being dumped in that area, and the council continues to clear it, yet time and time again the cycle persists because those responsible are not being held to account. The core issue here is that without resources to properly investigate, enforcement action cannot be taken, and therefore we will never, ever tackle the root cause of fly tipping. I urge the Minister to consider further resources for local authorities that will allow them to form fly tipping enforcement teams who will be able to sufficiently investigate instances of fly tipping so that strong enforcement action can be taken. And this wouldn't just be to clear the waste, but also to pursue offenders and recover the costs. I hope the Minister will also consider stronger measures to ensure offenders are held to account in instances where they are identified, so that they not only face fines, but are required to cover the full cost of clearance and disposal, therefore removing the burden from victims.
Amanda Hack.